As a historian, when I read something, I have to ask myself, but is this really true? Okay, before we go into the Pandava-Kaurava war, let's take another Vedic war, the Battle of the Ten Kings.
10 kings, yeah.
Yes. So in the Vedas, at some point, the Pauravas, and especially the Bharata dynasty among them, fights against the Anava tribe and the remnants of the Drugyu tribe. Most of the Drugyus have left India, but apparently some remain, so they become part of the Anava coalition, the Ten Kings, who form a defensive alliance against the expanding, conquering King Sudas of the Bharata dynasty. Now, many Vedic believers say, oh, this is a battle between good and evil. The Vedic king Sudas is the good guy, and the others, are selfish and, I don't know, they're jealous and they're evil and so on. So they fight against the Vedic king. Now, if you read the Vedic story, you have to conclude something else. You see, this king Sudas, he had first conquered in the east. He, together with his court priest Vishwamitra, the author of the Gayatri Mantra, crosses the Yamuna, conquers some territory there, which becomes Panchala, with headquarters in Kampilia. And in fact, the clan of Vishwamitra settles there, the Kushikas, and even expands farther to the east. There's a river, the Koshiki, in the sort of border area of what is now Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So they're part of this conquest. That's why later on, 2,000 years later in the Puranas, there is a sort of a controversy between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, where Vasishtha is a Brahmin and Vishwamitra is described as a Kshatriya, as a king. So in the Vedic age, these categories didn't exist yet, but this much we know, that Vasishtha was very much a priest, like he writes about the religion of the enemies in the Battle of the Ten Kings and so on. He's very much a religious, writer, composer, let's say, whereas the other guy is mainly known for his participation in a conquest. And not just as a priest, as a court priest of a king, but as himself doing conquest. So it makes sense to retrospectively describe him as Kshatriya. Now the point is that the king that he serves, Sudas, practices conquest, expands his territory, crosses the Yamuna, conquers a lot of territory there. Then later he sets his sight on the west. You see, he starts from Haryana, he conquers UP, now he conquers Punjab. So he conquers, across this Vipas River, Beas River. The fight takes place at the Parushni River, the present-day Ravi River, which forms the boundary between India and Pakistan today. And the enemies are coming from the next river, the Asikni River. And so they come from the west, he comes from the east, okay. They clash on the Parushni. And so you can say retrospectively that the Ten Kings had a good reason to get together, because they had to defend themselves, they had to defend their hereditary kingdom against this conqueror, right? Now, if you think defense is morally rather superior to trying to conquer what is somebody else's, then you can't say that Sudas is the good guy, and the 10 kings are the bad guys. You know, morally speaking, it's a very ordinary war, even though in world history is very important. It shapes the history of India, but even of West Asia, because it makes the Persians leave India, and later this will lead to the creation of the Persian Empire, the war between the Greeks and the Persians, and so on and so on. I mean, world history would have looked very different, but for this Battle of the 10 Kings.